All right, let's dive right in. What is actually out there at the very edge of everything we know? We're about to go on a journey outside our universe, and trust me, this theory is going to completely change how you see reality. It's that classic question, right? The one you probably asked as a kid. You're just staring up at the stars and you wonder, what if I just kept going in one direction forever? I mean, do you eventually hit a wall or does it just end? Well, it turns out that kid question has a pretty mind-bending answer, and we're going to unpack it today. Okay, so how do we even wrap our heads around something this big? Well, the theory gives us a great place to start. It asks us to picture our entire universe as a single soap bubble. Yeah, a soap bubble, just kind of floating in this huge, massive ocean of information. So suddenly the question isn't just what's at the edge of the bubble. The real question is what's on the other side. Right. So before we can talk about what's outside the bubble, we've got to get super clear on what's inside. Let's nail down the lingo for our little home here. So in the world of theoretical physics, they've got this awesome term for our whole 3D universe. They call it a brane. And yeah, it's just short for membrane. The key thing to get here is that everything, and I mean everything, every star, every planet, you and me, we're all just existing on the surface of this one single gigantic membrane. Okay, so our universe is a brane, a membrane. So what's on the other side? Well, to get that answer, we've got to take a step outside our bubble. And when we do, we find something that acts kind of like a computer's operating system, but for reality itself. Here's a great way to think about it. Super Mario, right? He's running around in his 2D world all on your TV screen. He can run, he can jump, but he can't just decide to step out of the television. And if he somehow could, what would he find? Not another level, right? He'd find the circuits, the code, the guts of the console that's running his entire world. Well, in this story, we're Mario. Our brain is his game, and right outside is that operating system, that OS domain. And this OS domain has a name, the bulk. Now get this, it's not another physical place. You won't find stars or planets there. The bulk is a higher dimensional space, and it's made of pure energy. It's the source code, the programming that dictates every single rule of our universe. But wait, it gets crazier. Because our little bubble, our brain, it's not the only one floating around in this giant ocean of code. And this leads us straight to one of the biggest concepts in all of science fiction and now theoretical physics, the multiverse. Yeah, you heard that right. The bulk isn't empty. It's filled, absolutely packed, with countless other bubbles, other brains, other universes. Each one is its own separate reality, all floating around in that same OS. Our universe, it's just one of them. And these universes are all over the map. I mean, sure, some are parallel worlds, almost exactly like ours, where another version of you is living out the consequences of a different choice. But then you've got the really wild ones, universes with totally different laws of physics. Can you imagine a reality where gravity pushes you away from the ground instead of pulling you down? It's out there. Now, this is the part where it stops being just a cool idea and starts getting really personal. The theory suggests that our consciousness, your consciousness, can actually become a sort of dimensional traveler. You're not just looking through a window. We're talking about connecting with and actually experiencing these other realities. It's like logging into a different game server as a guest. Let's just stop for a second and think about what that means. The end of regret. I mean, really think about it. Every time you've ever wondered, what if? What if I took that job? What if I'd said yes? In this reality, that feeling of regret could just disappear because you could literally access the experience of the you who made that other choice. Okay, let's do a quick check-in. We've got our universe, the brain, it's floating in the bulk, and the bulk is filled with the multiverse. But is that it? Is that the end of the line? Come on, you know us humans. We always have to ask, what's even bigger? What's outside the OS? And that question brings us to the full picture, the grand hierarchy of reality. It's a 3-step ladder. At the bottom, our universe, the brain. Step 2, the operating system that holds it, the bulk. And holding all of that is one final, ultimate layer. This final layer is known as the void, and they call it a null data region. Now, this is important. It's not just black, empty space. It's the complete absence of space and time and information. It's pure, raw, untapped potential, the blank canvas before a single brushstroke. Think of it like a programmer's mind, completely still and quiet, right before they write that very first line of code. So, what's the point of all this? Is it just a cool thing to think about? Well, according to this theory, no. It's way more than that. Understanding this entire structure, from the bubble to the void, that's apparently the master key to unlocking the next step in our evolution. And get this, they actually put a date on it, a timeline. Right now, today, we're stuck in our brain. But the idea is that by 2035, yeah, that soon, humanity could start to transition, to become multidimensional beings. We're talking about developing the ability to consciously travel through all these layers we've been talking about. There's a quote that just sums this all up so perfectly. It's this idea that our universe isn't some small, cramped room we're trapped in. It's a massive palace with an infinite number of doors. We just haven't realized we can open them yet. And that is the whole point. This isn't about cosmic tourism. It's about fundamentally understanding reality itself, so we can finally get our hands on the master key to that palace and unlock what our own consciousness is truly capable of. So, as we come back from the edge of everything, I've got one last question for you. If you really could log in and experience the life of another version of yourself, maybe the one who became an astronaut, or the one who learned to play guitar, or just the one who made that one different choice years ago, which life would you want to check out first? Something to think about. Thanks for taking this trip with me.